Good morning, everybody, and a happy Saturday morning to you. My goodness, we are up to day 3, the full day, and we are back to our default for Harry and Meghan, which is moaning about every little slight. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Don't you know I'm a victim? My God. All right, there's a little royal family news. I'm not going to lie. It's mostly Harry, Meghan. Let's just jump in and get busy because my goodness, let's go. We're going to start off today with the Duke of Edinburgh. He visited Handel Hendricks' house. And during this visit, he explored both of their historic homes on Brook Street, from Handel's music room to Hendrix's bedroom. Edward got to experience live performances of the music that once filled those rooms. He was also given a first look at material from an upcoming exhibition, Hendrix in London, which is opening up in June. Of course, he signed the guest book also. Next up, and I'm very excited about this, Kensington Palace confirmed that the Princess of Wales and Princess Anne will participate in Anzac Day commemorations across London on Saturday, April 25th. Princess Anne is set to attend the dawn service held at Wellington Arch Hyde Park Corner, while Catherine will be in ceremonies later in the morning. We're going to catch up now on the Sentebale issue. Apparently, the Charity Commission is looking at the decision that Sentebale took to pursue defamation proceedings against Harry. They confirmed, the charity regulator did, that they have been in contact with the charity's trustees since learning of the legal action back in February. And they said that they're aware of the charity's plans to take legal action, and they have been engaged with the trustees to understand how this action furthers their charity purposes. Now, it would appear to me that Harry is leaking stuff now. After everything we've heard about him, it wouldn't surprise me. Apparently, there is a letter that was written by former trustees, which reveals claims about the scale of the tension in the organization. They're accusing Dr. Chanduka of intimidation and misconduct. The letter was signed, of course, by Mr. Dyer, who is one of the people being sued alongside Harry, and 5 other trustees following the mass resignations in 2025. Now, according to this letter, the decision was not sudden, but reached after sustained difficulty. It alleges a breakdown in relationships between staff and accused Ms. Chanduka of trying to manipulate the minutes of the board. I said it before, I'll say it again. It sounds like Harry's starting to play dirty. And I'll tell you what I do agree with. If this lawsuit goes forward, oh my God, Harry could be bankrupt by the end of it. Absolutely. Okay, let's move on. Well, let's move on now to the fabulous weekend that's coming up. I got this from Sabira Lohan. Thank you very much. It would appear that all that money paid, and Meghan is only going to be at this event for Friday night for just a little while. That's all these people are going to get of her. And a big thank you to this Twitter user, because it looks like, Lieutenant Zandy Sussex, who was invited, that horrible internet troll, looks like she's been identified. Whoo, she's going to be there. We'll see, won't we? Now, I'm sure it didn't come as a surprise to anybody that this big 3-day retreat that Meghan is headlining has not sold out over a month after the women-only event was announced. You guys, there's only room for 300 people, and it hasn't sold out. I think that says a lot. Now, don't forget that one of the highlights is the fireside chat with Meghan at her Best Life retreat, and it's supposed to be capped by an intimate dinner, but apparently, let's not forget that the tickets supposedly were exhausted as of March 23rd. They were updating the website. They're trying to get people in there. The truth is, if you paid that kind of money, you probably got scammed, and you're probably regretting your purchase right about now. But, hey, you wanted to be around Meghan, so suck it up. Let's move on. So here we are, day 3 of Harry and Meghan's tour, and it started off that they were out and about on their Scar Tree Walk in Melbourne, and supposedly, allegedly, one of the people that was there one of the reporters got very excited and tried to grab a selfie near the end of the tree walk, and apparently one of the security guys had to get into the middle of them. Apparently he literally pushed somebody out of the way to clear Meghan's path so that they could get the picture. It was caught on camera, and he was, they're saying, aggressively pursuing exclusives at every Sussex venue throughout the tour. Whatever. Okay, so they're on this walkway, and we're gonna cover this first, and then we'll go back to what else was happening. Harry and Meghan are doing this walk. The event was to honor Aboriginal culture. So it's the Scar Tree Walk in Melbourne. This walk is supposed to be 1.5 to 2 hours long, approximately. I don't know how long they were actually walking, for, but it's supposed to be a unique and immersive cultural experience that reveals tradition and contemporary aspects of the first people of the land, which it was built. And yes, that's Harry sniffing something else. My God. Now, these walks are led by knowledgeable guides. It takes you through the Aboriginal art installations at the river camp along the Yarra River and across a William Barak bridge. And you get to see the traditional, all the traditional stuff. It's usually a traditional meeting place for the Kulin nations. And you'll learn about the ongoing presence, if you ever do it, of Aboriginal culture within one of Australia's most recognized contemporary gathering places for local, national, and international sporting and other events. I have to say, it does appear to me that Meghan was trying really hard to look like she was so into it and interested and listening to everything that the guy was saying. I don't think she really was, but that's just my personal opinion. But the Scar Tree Walk is put on by the Corey Heritage Trust, which is a nonprofit First Peoples art and cultural organization. I've already explained all that to you. So the tour ends at the Scar Trees, which are a group of trees that have had their bark removed by Aboriginal people for various purposes. Now, they're standing there. It's extremely warm on that day, and Meghan once again is doing the coat flicking thing. It's almost like she forgot that she's not pregnant and there's not a baby bump there, but she was obviously trying to show off the clothes. And why wouldn't she show off the clothes? Because immediately they went on the one-off website for sale. Just the rings were $2,300 each. But the one thing that caught everybody's attention was the mama shirt. Now, Nancy Sidley even brought this up before everybody starts praising. That's an Alliance of Moms shirt from her friend Kelly Zafin. Now, years ago, some pressure was put on Kelly to explain where the money was going for these shirts, the merching, and they asked her to be more transparent. So she changed some of the wording. Instead of the profits going directly to, now it says the proceeds help. So before anybody goes nuts and goes out and buys all this stuff, I'm sure Kelly Zafin's making some money off of this. They finish there, and then it's time to go on to the next thing, which is a mental health charity at Swinburne University of Technology in Melbourne. So they get there, and of course it's the whole, look at us, we're in love, and Harry walks around to get her out of the car. He insists on taking her hand to help her out of the car. Whatever. They get up to the top. And what these girls did, and boys, I'm sure, is they showed different plans and different things that they've set up. And of course, Meghan had to give her wording out, and Harry gave his thought process. And they're talking and they're looking at all of these, diagrams that are put up. This dress does not flatter Meghan. I'm not saying it's an ugly dress. It doesn't look good on her. And not everybody that's there was happy to see her. Some people were giving her kind of like, the evil eye behind the scenes. So she's standing there, she's making sure that she gets seen, and then it was time to sit down for a round table discussion. And this was when Meghan dropped the bomb that just made everybody go, are you freaking kidding me? I myself could not believe she said all this. So let's just jump in and cover that. Everybody gets done and they sit down in a round circle. And this is what Meghan says.
For now 10 day for 10 years. I have been bullied and attacked, and I was the most trolled person in the entire world, man or woman. I'm still here. And so when I think of all of you and what you're experiencing, I think so much of that is having to realize that, that industry, that billion-dollar industry that is completely anchored and predicated on cruelty to get clicks, that's not going to change. So you have to be stronger than that. And a friend of mine gave me a little bag that had a quote on it that I had put on. And I look at it every single day. And I would share it with you because sometimes I can imagine as you talk about depression or anxiety or the willingness or lack of appetite to even want to get out of bed or keep going, that this is the quote that it says, and I think it's important that you remember as I try to as well. My wish for you is that you continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness, and to allow humor to lighten the burden of your tender heart. And that's my wish for all of you as well. And you can do it together. And I'm not gonna say it's easy. I will personally tell you it is not easy, but you can do it. And my wish for all of you is to just...
And thank you to my subscriber, Adrian, who sent this to me. That little quote that she didn't give credit to the person who said it. Here's who said it. Let's give her credit, Now let's point something out here. First of all, there's 8.3 million people in the world. I'm sure there are plenty of people in the world that have been trolled more than her, like, I don't know, just off the top of my head, Trump. But she's not the most trolled person. And the other thing that really bothers me about this, well, there's two things that bother me. Number one, she says she's been trolled for 10 years. 10 years ago was 2016. Nobody knew who she was, so that's absolutely a lie. And number two, this is a woman who says that she's been bullied and trolled more than any other person in the world. And of course, we have since found out that she is known as Duchess Dictator. Right? She is a bully. She treats her employees like crap. She's been accused of being a bully on both sides of the pond. Multiple articles have come out. She can't keep staff. So I find those comments, where she's making herself out to be the victim, to be really suspect. That's just me. I'm really hoping that these people, these students are smart enough to do a little Google research on their own. In the meantime, GB News had something to say about all of this. As usual, spot on. Listen to this.
Charlotte, let's start with you because this story has pretty much exploded online since we spoke to an hour ago.
Yeah.
Meghan Markle telling Australian students that she was the most trolled person in the world.
Yeah, they're now calling it Meghan's misery tour, this tour of Australia, because they keep complaining about things wherever they go. And the latest thing is she's done a full victim sort of speech saying she's tormented, she's bullied and attacked, she's been bullied every day for 10 years online, and she's the most trolled person in the world. The reason why I find it very grating is because Meghan always says she doesn't read social media, she doesn't read Twitter. Twitter is full of vile trolls, it is a cesspit, but she always claims she doesn't read any of it. And then what happens is Harry conflates online Twitter trolls, who are just random keyboard warriors, with the mainstream press, which is me and others, and says that we're the ones doing the trolling, but we're not. I mean, this country celebrated her when she first came in to the scene and she first married into the royal family. And of course, a national newspaper wouldn't bully Meghan Markle, and accuse her of all these things that she's saying she's accused by the trolls. So I think she would do well to remember the difference between the British media they so hate and trolls. And if she doesn't want to know about the trolls, don't read them.
But also, and I defer to you because you know the royals a lot better than I do, but the Queen always used to live by the adage, never explain, never complain. And that served her very well. She was like an oil tanker just moving very slowly in her own direction.
Because you can't win.
Exactly. And I think that is probably something that she should take on board, is just step back slightly. Obviously, she's got to make her money and hawk her wares wherever she goes. But as you say, victim and being in misery is always going to be a recipe for disaster. And, Harry learns that every single day when he engages with people.
Yeah.
And I have to add on here that for all of her going on about it's not authentic for me to wear stockings, she's wearing stockings. And she's selling even the stockings on one-off. I'm telling you. And also, people got some really good pictures of the top of Harry's head with all of the swipes he's taken at William for the loss of his hair. Harry is going bald really fast. So anyway, they finished up there. They're going on with the whole love story thing. They go back and Meghan goes to change into her third outfit for the day for the next event. So next up, Harry goes to the next event. He brings Meghan with him because, as you're going to see, the room was mostly empty. And of course, as is usual, he blamed the death of his mother on the scrutiny and pressure of being a royal. Nothing about the fact that she was in a car with a drunk driver with no seatbelt. Let you listen for yourself what he said.
But for me, after my mum died just before my 13th birthday, I don't want this job, I don't want this role, wherever this is headed, I don't like it. It killed my mum, and I was very much against it. And I stuck my head in the sand for years, fingers in the ears, blah, 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 don't want it. And eventually I realized, well, hang on, if there was somebody else in this position, how would they be making the most of this platform and this ability and the resources that come with it to make a difference in the world? And also, what would my mum want me to do? And that really changed my perspective.
Then Harry goes on to say that he's powerless and betrayed. More than likely, he's referring to the royal family. But listen to what he says. What he's saying is no different than what every other person in the world goes through.
And while I'm being so open with you, there have been many times when I felt overwhelmed. Times when I felt lost, betrayed, or completely powerless. Times when the pressure, externally and internally, felt constant. And times when, despite everything going on, I still had to show up, pretending everything was okay, so as not to let anyone down. Well, some of those experiences were unique, but the feelings that came with them were not. Grief, uncertainty, pressure, loss of identity, the need to keep going even when you're not sure how. And for a long time, I dealt with those things the way many people do. I carried on, even when my nervous system was screaming at me. I suppressed whatever feelings were there and relied on the distractions and busyness of life. And for many years, I was numb to it, and perhaps that was easier then. But I also didn't yet have the tools to deal with it.
So basically, at yet another speaking event, Harry's decided to whine about his life. And then, as far as I'm concerned, this is a bit of bragging about what Harry and Meghan get to do. Listen to this.
And then I realized, wow, actually, helping other people is also helping me. And that service, for me, and I've seen for so many other people as well, is a cure in itself. Because it really is incredibly energizing. It can be very depleting when you're bouncing around trying to give as much time and energy as you can. But certainly for me and for my wife, the work that we do, we really enjoy it. We get to hang out together and meet amazing people and go to some incredible places. But that service, that giving back, for me has been a cure. One of the under the carpet reasons as such for creating Invictus, or certainly one of the benefits that I get out of Invictus, is I get my annual fix by being back together with that community and hearing their stories and putting everything into perspective and being re-energized for whatever life.
So there you go. Harry and Meghan get to travel all over the place, usually for free. Somebody else is funding it. First class or private jets. They get to meet people, and he gets to go to Invictus where people re-energize him by talking to him about their life. This is what he considers service. And that, for me, is what I find absolutely shocking, that this is seriously what he believes is a life of service. Now, I've said it before really quickly. Here it is. As you can see, there were plenty of empty tables. Now, when this was over, they changed clothes again. So now that would be Meghan's fourth outfit for the day. They went to the airport, they got on the plane, and they headed to Sydney because now they've got the next bit of what they're going to do in Sydney. It's pretty obvious to me that once again they flew first class because they're the first off the plane from the front. They came from the left. So they probably had the very first seats and they have everybody else on the plane sit and wait while they get off and they're taken to their, waiting vehicle. Now, I do have to say that the two of them have been scrutinized for this fake royal tour, even though they've left the royal family. But what people are pointing out is that they've used carefully planned choreography to mirror official royal tours, like going to the War Memorial. But critics have also pointed out that this is very carefully crafted. It's not open to the general public. So they've been very careful in how they've been perceived. The general public hasn't been around them. If they had, you would know that they were not well received. What's being seen, according to the palace, shows why Queen Elizabeth was right not to allow the two of them to mix money making with royal duties. That's exactly why. By the way, they're saying that Meghan is going to be receiving $355,000 for her 1-hour appearance at the wellness gathering. It has been told, however, and even GB News said this, that Harry did not get any money for his speech on mental health in the workplace, and Meghan did not make any money for being on MasterChef. I find that hard to believe, but okay. Oh my God. Okay, you guys know what I want. Put those comments down. Make it good. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button for all notifications, and then go down into the description box where you'll find the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, a link to my father's book, which remains up for sale on Amazon, a link to my Amazon wish list, as well as a physical address. For those of you who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.